Hi, thanks for joining me. Got one or two nice comments about the first video, so thanks for that, and here's my next offering. I'm off on Goldie again, and we're going to run heading south down into Nottinghamshire. We're going to stick to the A and B roads because I like them better, and wind our way through a few nice villages and towns, ending up at Thoresby Hall, where we should find a few classic vehicles to look at. It's about a 35-mile journey, but it's Bank Holiday Monday, so some of the roads might be a bit busy. We'll see how it goes. I'll chuck in a few facts about places of interest as we go, and leave the rest for you to simply enjoy the ride. I must apologise in advance as well for wind noise in some sections, as I'm still experimenting with the best place for the microphone. Right, I'll start the trip here as we pass through the older part of Hatfield, which I mentioned last time, and we go on through Hatfield Chase. All the area around here is very low lying. In fact, it's less than 10 feet above sea level. It was all drained as part of the Newton's land reclamation in the 1620s. Just coming through Hatfield Woodhouse now, and we're going to join the A614 and head towards Bawtry. We're just approaching His Majesty's Prisons Doncaster up on the left here. There's 3 of them all together: Lindholme, Moorlands and Hatfield Lakes. They're actually built on what was RAF Lindholme and opened in 1985. RAF Lindholme was a World War II airbase, and it operated under RAF Bomber Command, and it housed a few different squadrons during the war. Mainly Wellington and Hampden bombers flew out of here. Bit of country hazard here on the bend. That time of year, muck spreading and all sorts going on. Nice cow on the right, outside the garden centre. Stands there all year round. We're now at Finningley. It's got a lovely duck pond on the left a bit further up. Now you can't see it, but over on the right behind the village is the runway of what was RAF Finningley. In 2005 that became Doncaster Sheffield, or Robin Hood Airport, when it became an international passenger airport. Now why they chose that name, I've no idea, but it did cause a bit of a local controversy. 11,000 people signed a petition against it. It first opened in 1915 and was used by the Royal Flying Corps to intercept German Zeppelins. During World War II it was operated by Bomber Command, mainly for bomber crew training, but some combat missions did fly from here as well. Later, during the Cold War period, it was one of the main sites for the nuclear-armed Vulcan bombers. It's got one of the longest runways in the country, and it was actually designated as an emergency landing place for the space shuttle. Unfortunately, it ceased operation in November 2022, and there's an ongoing battle to get it reopened. Oh, that's lovely. Nice old rover. Wonder if that guy's off to Thoresby Hall. We're coming into the market town of Bawtry now. The motor auction's over there on the right. A nice wide main road here with the old marketplace spread out along the right hand side. Settlements here date back to Roman times. The original village sits on the western branch of the old Roman road, Ermine Street. By the mid-14th century it had spread and become a busy inland port, exporting goods overseas along the River Idle. We're heading out down the A638, which was part of the old Great North Road. This is the village of Ranskill, and we're into Nottinghamshire now. We're entering Retford now. This is another market town, but also this is one of the oldest. It got its charter in 1105. I'm going to stop for some petrol here because I'm down to 1 bar on the gauge. Yeah, so Retford, a very old town. Settlements here date back to prehistoric times. Early stone and Bronze Age tools have been found, and there's some very early earthworks in the area. In the year 617 AD, the Battle of the River Idle took place near here, when Redwald of East Anglia was victorious over Ethelfrith of Northumbria. According to legend, the River Idle was foul with blood of Englishmen, and one local tradition says this was the origin of the name Retford. There's differences of opinion as to just where the name did originate. The consensus, though, seems to be that it came from its position on the River Idle and a ford that was there. Because of the number of people and animals crossing and stirring up the red mud that forms the riverbed, it became known as Retford. Sounds plausible to me, but I think I prefer the one about the river running red with blood. We're crossing over the A1 now, and traffic's been a bit heavy around here. This is the A614 to Nottingham, and it's a much busier road this morning. On the right just ahead is the main entrance to Clumber Park, which is an estate now owned by the National Trust. It's supposed to be one of their most visited properties. It's a lovely place. I've been here several times over the years with the wife and the dogs. There's about 3,800 acres, so plenty of space for walks. It was created in the early 1700s and was home to the Dukes of Newcastle. There was a large house as well until it was demolished in 1938 after being badly damaged by fire. It is busy, but I'm not in that much of a rush. He must be keen to get somewhere. we're leaving the main road now and we're heading up towards Bawtry. Here we are, signs for the Classic Vehicle Show. We're on the Thoresby Hall estate now, and these are all private roads. This was always a very popular show. I used to come to it regularly before COVID lockdowns stopped it taking place. They actually hold, or they did hold, a couple of shows a year. Looks like there's plenty of folks here anyway. You do get a lot of modern bikes and cars exhibiting here, but as I'm not showing Goldie, I'm just going to park up under the trees over here. The Hall's a 19th century Grade 1 listed building. It was originally home to the Earls of Kingston upon Hull, then later the Earls of Manvers until 1979 when the buildings were sold to the National Coal Board. Since then it's gone through several owners. If you're interested in military, the Royal Lancers and Nottinghamshire Yeomanry have a very good museum here as well. Certainly looks as big and busy as it ever was. Lots of nice bikes as well, always a good turnout. I have to say though, the term classic vehicle seems to encompass so much more nowadays. To my eyes, a lot of these are just modern vehicles. You don't seem to get much of the old stuff turning up at this type of event anymore. But maybe that's just me. I'll put a few pictures on now, just of vehicles that took my personal fancy, the sort of thing that I like. Incidentally, I also like American stuff. Small trucks especially. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there and head back up north. Hope you found it interesting. If you did, please give it a like, leave us a comment, subscribe if you want to see more of my ramblings. See you on the next one hopefully. Cheers for now.